What's going on, Ronin? In this video, I want to take a look at the recent Ashes of Creation dev update that they had for July. Of course, we're doing another unscripted video, so we know this is going to turn out amazing. But let's go ahead and just jump into our little notes that we have on what they talked about during this live stream. So the first thing they talked about is the question or the comment that was made on one of the videos. They always pull up a comment or question that they have on their previous live stream video. So if you guys watch that video and comment on it, yours might be in the next one. It's talking about how caravans work and if you can hire or people to do that for you if you don't want to transport your caravan. And yeah, you'll be able to hire other people to transport your caravan for you, and you can put insurance on them just in case your caravan gets stolen. Now, I'm not familiar with the caravan system on how it works in other games, if there's caravan systems in other games, but I did like the way that sounded in Ashes of Creation for those who don't want to deal with the hassle of getting jumped while carrying their caravan. Somebody else can take the blame for it. Then we got a glimpse or a showcase of the desert biome, which is about a 3-minute video showcasing the beautiful landscape of the desert. Now, Unreal 5 has really taken these graphics and everything to a whole new level. It looks amazing. They showcased a mount. I think it was called the Wisp Whelp. That was something that was in one of the packages that you can get earlier on. If you were getting like the alpha packages or anything like that, it was in one of those, and it looked pretty amazing. I was kind of jealous of people that are going to be able to have that, and I'm kind of wondering if you'll be able to make that with the animal husbandry system, or what other interesting combinations of mounts and pets you'll be able to create in the animal husbandry system. The idea that the snail trail was actually snailing along, and there was like some slime behind it. That was pretty cool. I like that. And then it like grew horse legs, was kind of weird, and it was walking that way. Not sure the purpose, but it was kind of cool too. Then we got to kind of see the tech demo, which was what they showcased. The big showcase for this one was a tech demo where they talked about how the world and the art and landscape is made within the engine itself with tools that they designed for Unreal 5, which is pretty cool. I know there's a lot of tools engineers out there, and I think that's really an amazing ability to have, to be able to program something that works within another program. Like, this program already exists, somebody else made it, and you're programming another tool or piece of software that you can use within the program, and everybody can just kind of work on that same project together without it having to take longer by transferring assets out of here and then saving it and trying to upload them into the actual program. It's all already in the engine, and they can do what they want to do with it. It's good stuff. That's one of the things I know that they're using to make this transition a little bit faster. From there, we got to see some extra artwork. We got to see like a little duckling, see sets. The sets, I want to say, in the game, they showed the set from the desert package. This is very fitting because this was the desert biome showcase. So like the desert package they showed with like the Aladdin looking ship that looks like a genie lamp. That ship with the traders and the negotiators, whatever. When they showed the rendered model of it, it looked really good in comparison to what we saw in what we see in the packaged images. Like, the imagery is like little watercolor painting or whatever, like little oil color style painting, and it just doesn't look that great. So you're looking at like, I mean, I guess that looks kind of cool. Like, there's some like earlier packages I thought looked really cool, and they still use that same kind of artwork, and I'm like, so those look that cool there. Like, imagine what they look like now if this one that's just like, oh, that looked all right. And it looked really cool when they showed the rendered version of it. Now, it's still not something that I would preferably walk around in. Like, I still want to see what the actual in-game armor looks like before I worry about wearing skins. Like, I want to progress through the game with the armor that's in the game, and hopefully that looks really good instead of relying on skins to, get me looking a certain way. Now, if I can mix and match some skins later, and I don't like the way like the armor pieces fit together, then that'll be okay. I kind of do that in New World. Right now, I just have a full body set skin because the armor in New World actually really sucks. So I'm gonna be honest with you. So this one, I thought that looked really cool. So I was in the middle of editing the video, and I forgot to say that they added the Toonario, and how could I forget that? They looked so cool. I'm going to be I'm thinking one of the more reptilian looking ones. They look so good. And that's just the concept art of it. When we see how the pirate looked with its character model, and some other classes. They looked so much like the concept art. I'm so happy that they're sticking very close to what the concept art looks like, that we just know the Toonario are going to look amazing. Even though we haven't seen what their bodies look like, we just kind of see their head up. I have a good feeling, and that's probably what I'll be playing in this next test that they have, if I can get into it. But I can't believe I almost forgot that. Back to the rest of the video. We learned about how the riders so from there we got into some questions were being answered. One of the things we learned is that riders will be able to get knocked off of mounts if they're on their mount going through a dangerous area. You're not gonna be able to just zoom past some enemies, that you'll actually get knocked off like you could back in the day in some games where you get dizzy or stunned and you have to like try to hobble away or fight the enemy. Well, now you can actually get knocked off of your mount. Certain enemies will have certain abilities that will do that. So it's adding to that layer of danger. And we looked at some earlier footage. We saw like Steven on his character run past some areas, and there was like small level creatures and there was like higher level creatures, and they're all in that same kind of zone. I didn't play Alpha 1, so I'm not sure how that was in Alpha 1. But I'm assuming this is how it's going to be also, where you just kind of be careful where you're going. You might run into that high level monster and you're like, oh snap, I am supposed to be in the zone, but why is that here? So that's something to look out for. And that's pretty cool. I like that sense of danger that's going to be in the world, where it kind of makes it feel that kind of living. Now, hopefully they don't do anything where it minuses experience. I'm going to have to look further into how experience is earned and gained. What else do we have here? The global cooldown systems and all that stuff will be a part of Alpha 2. They'll be doing updates with that. They'll be getting feedback on how it feels, how it looks, if it's too long, stuff like that. With Alpha 2, we haven't really seen that stuff in any of the recent content since they updated to Unreal 5 or with this next combat update. We didn't see that stuff. They haven't shown in the UI yet. They did mention they might show that in the future within the next streams, but right now we're just kind of guessing. I guess it's okay, I don't know, but we'll see. We get to play around with it, and if we don't like it, we can be like, yo, these skills are too long or too short, and they'll balance it out during that. We'll talk more about Alpha 2 a little bit later. But next part, somebody asked about the husbandry system, and there will be a limit on how many times you can breed in the husbandry system, and that's going to be depending on the purpose of the mount or creature, the animal that you're breeding, and the quality and the type. So maybe you can only breed like 2 5-star things, or you put 2 4-star things together and make a 5-star thing. So that's one of the things they have set up. One thing I'm wondering is that how many times you can breed 2 animals together and you just have to get 2 more animals, or is how many times you can breed a certain type of animal into existence. So they didn't really clarify that, if it was just breeding 2 animals together so many times, or if it was breeding a certain type of animal so many times. So we'll have to see how that works out in the game in the future when we're actually playing around with the husbandry system. One of the things that I thought was interesting, somebody asked about being able to customize your sails and stuff for the ship system. They did say that there will be some kind of custom decals. It's unknown if we'll be able to upload our own, or if but there will be something in the game. And my mind immediately went to like Call of Duty, how they have that emblem system where people are making like the craziest icons in the game. People have like Goku and they had like Deku, and they made it all with these different shapes and stuff. It was really cool. And I'm thinking if they do something like that, they even do it with on Forza when you can do the paint skins on the cars. It's so amazing, the talented artists that are out there. So there might be something we see, something similar to that, and then there'll be a nice guide somewhere online of all the different symbols you can probably make to make your ship have. Or you can just be basic like me and use whatever the basic things are if we can't upload our own images. So they mentioned corrupted. If you are corrupted, about how you can get rid of corruption, and they're saying that the bounty hunter system will locate individuals while they're on the map. So that is something that I hope I'm good enough in PvP to be able to take advantage of, because the idea of just kind of hunting down other players that are corrupted sounds pretty fun. But if you are corrupted, your guildmate might be able to kill you to kind of clear you of that corruption. So I'm not sure how they're going to work that out, but hopefully it's a system that I guess is like, hurry up and get me so this other guy doesn't get me and take all my stuff. So it might work out pretty well. It might be for the a good cause, unless it's just like a guild of people that just are going around killing people and then killing each other to avoid getting killed, that wouldn't really be a good way to do that, because that's technically kind of abusing the system. But I can see a whole guild of PvPers, PKers out there. That could be a thing. And then we have to have a whole guild of bounty hunters, and it'll be a whole like war on the server. It'll be an interesting story. So people asked if Alpha 2 is going to be a feature complete before the game launches or before a beta, and the response to that was Alpha 2 is going to be feature complete before a beta, but it's going to be kind of a rollout type deal where there's going to be patches that come in, and as long as Alpha 2 is existing, that it'll be updated to be more and more it'll be more and more features added to it. Now the beta itself is going to be the full completeness, which means stuff might change. The whole map will be open. Like in Alpha 2, like some of the map parts won't be open, some of the features won't be accessible until as it goes further along. But in beta, when it hits that beta stage, all of the map is going to be open and all of the features are going to be in the game at one time. Now Alpha 2 is going to be persistent, and this in a way kind of makes me think, because recently I've kind of jumped into Star Citizen. Star Citizen has been in the persistent alpha like forever, so I'm hoping that they have a tight roadmap on their development schedule to where they know when they'll be good with Alpha 2 to knock it out of beta, so they don't go into that 5-year Alpha 2 persistent world, because it will be persistent. It's like people will be playing the game as it is. It's going to be pretty interesting how that is going to play out, because I don't want people to start thinking this game was never going to come out, because people already feel like the game has been in development for a long time, and in actuality it's just been in development the normal length of time that a game is in development. We just got to hear about it earlier in its development and how everything's been going and seeing its process. And it's gone through a lot of changes. If you haven't seen the other videos, I have one of the cards up there about the changes from the beginning to now. It's crazy, a lot of changes. So I'm talking about larger ships, if they'll have a minimum capacity to be mobile. It's like if you need all of the people on the ship to be able to pilot the ship or drive the ship around, and you just really need the captain to be able to move the ship, but there is a minimum capacity for the ship to be effective, and this scales based on the ship. So like if you want to win, you can't go in there with 2 people when you should have 5 people on board, you know what I'm saying? So that's what they meant by that. So you want to have a good party together if you're going to be in naval combat, unless you got a little small ship which can only hold 2 people. Castle sieges will be on a monthly schedule, and they will always occur on that schedule, and events are dependent on world conditions. So this is with a question where somebody wants to know if events were going to be on a certain time frame, if they'll be like 9 o'clock here or 12 o'clock there, if they'll skip months if nobody fights, nobody wants to announce an event or attack a castle. Will it happen anyway? So castle sieges will always happen. You will not always have the castle. And this reminded me of Archlord. I don't know if you guys ever played Archlord, but Archlord had it's a really interesting concept with Archlord. I always go back to it, think about it in my mind. It was like guild versus guild type combat, right? One guild would hold the castle with the guild master or whoever they determined to be the Archlord as the ruler of the server, and they'd be able to like control the weather, and they can summon a dragon and do all kind of crazy stuff. But that wasn't indefinite. There was a war schedule every month, so that Archlord either had a chance to be dethroned or it could still be there. And I think it changed hands pretty regularly. I don't remember seeing a lot of people do crazy stuff with the Archlord in the game when I was playing, when it was existing a long time ago. But it's a cool idea. I liked it. So as far as that whole 1 month thing, they talked about how no leveling speed is, and it all depends on so many variables. We learned that the mayor can only be in office like for a month. Like a mayoral term is 1 month, and then they'll vote for another mayor. It could be the same one, I guess, but a term is a month, and that can affect the leveling speed of the node. What players are doing will affect the leveling speed of the node. a whole bunch of stuff can affect the speed of the node. They have a set idea, set time frame of how fast the speed can level, and the question was kind of asking about that, about how many months it would take to level the node. But they were like, you know, it just depends, and that's really true. It really depends on what players do. Put everything down on paper, but at the end of the day, players will always exceed the expectations of devs. I put this in the comment in my last video on somebody. From my understanding, from what I've experienced, people have something in motion, they have an idea. They don't expect things to be consumed so hardcore. Somebody is going to min-max, they're going to find the best route to do stuff. It's always going to be something that somebody hasn't thought of, that somebody else thinks of, and spreads that word, and it becomes the new meta of how things should be done. So one of the things they talked about that I think is a cool system that they put in more recent games is being able to craft from your storage. And they mentioned that. Somebody asked about crafting, and if you'll be able to do that, and yes, you'll be able to craft from your node storage and personal storage when you are at a crafting station, so you're not gonna have to run back and forth between the node or between your storage or your personal storage or your bank. You can just all grab it from the crafting station. That's so great. Such a quality of life change that modern games have added into it. So good. If they have a special crafting slot where all your crafting materials go in, it's like unlimited crafting materials that can go in that little bag or whatever, that would be even more amazing. But we'll have to see. I'm not sure how that works, and I hope they don't have us buying bag space through microtransactions. It's one of the things I hate the most, is having to buy bag space, or not even having, because I won't do it, but having that option out there, like you have to buy bag space if you want all the bags. Dislike. What else we have? Monster coins. So monster coins is something that we don't see a lot about. Somebody asked about how the monster coin system kind of worked, and he went on to talk about that for the monster coin system. When that event happens and you choose to play as a monster to take on, you have your own set of objectives that you go and do. So maybe you have to go and, in the example, he used like 3 weapons that the town has found to take out something, and your job as a monster is to go in and grab those 3 weapons, kind of hindering that town's ability to take care of it. And so you can go in and you can do that objective, or you can just hold off the players and the NPCs by fighting against them, but you'll always have an objective that can be completed in the monster coin system, and that all depends on what the event is. There was a question about AI behavior, if the AI would be able to like cast buffs on each other and heal each other, and in like one of the earlier dev streams, they showcased them fighting against some enemies, and they have an AI system where the AI actually kind of learns to what the player does a bit, and they'll be able to support each other with like buffs and healing and stuff like that if they are in the same group. Now, if it's like random pack over here, way in the back, they're not going to run up and just start helping out the other AI. But if the AI if the mobs are grouped together and they're like a party type system for the mobs, which they're all scored a certain way, so they're all like together in that same scoring category in the code, and they all work together, and then they'll all be able to take care of each other and heal each other, and somebody might come in and hit them with the shield. So we'll see how that is in motion. The AI system seemed pretty cool and intense, and having certain classes be able to do certain things, if that's still something that we have carrying forward when we go on these quests, will be pretty cool. Also, it kind of adds that RP element to it, where you have this class, you need to get past this log here, but you need a warrior because they're strong and they can move it. So that'd be kind of cool. So coming on with the final question, and then we had a little studio update. The question was if you'll get something every level, like if you'll get points, or will it be like we have to wait every 2 levels before you get another point to skill up? And the answer is that you'll get points every level. At certain milestone levels, you get bigger things, but you'll always be rewarded for leveling up. Leveling up is a momentous occasion at any point in time, so you'll always be celebrated for doing it by getting, whether it be skill points or something a little bit more, a new skill, like that as you level up. And then finally, they talked about something that I thought was crazy, and that is people actually imitating intrepid recruiters on LinkedIn and other websites for tricking people into giving away their information, thinking they have a job. It's so crazy. This is the first time I've actually heard this, and with them being such an independent developer, independent studio, it's wild that they're targeted like that. I guess like it shows the games and studios popularity and how many people want to work there. But that is some wild stuff that people are actually imitating recruiters. It seems like just a waste of time to do that. But I guess they're getting people with information. It's tough, man. It sucks. It sucks that people have to be dishonest like that. But that is all for this update here on Ashes of Creation, the dev stream. When they drop the second question and answer link, where they answer all of the questions that people had that didn't get answered, we'll have another video on that. And there is another question that they have, a community-based question about the tank's role in a dungeon or a raid. And I'm kind of curious to see what the actual question will be and what people's responses will be about that. Like how much should tanks perform in that or something like that. I don't remember the question right off the top of my head. I'm pulling this all from memory. Forgive me. With that said, guys, thanks for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. Help this channel grow to something amazing as a generalized MMORPG channel, traveling the world of MMOs and giving you the info. Thanks for watching this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.